Friends, today we have an interview with Bhaskar Phukan, who is Director Technical, Numaligarh Refinery Limited. The interview is by our Guwahati correspondent Manas Pratim Sarma.
Good evening to all listeners of Northeast Diary. This evening at Golaghat, we are joined by the Technical Director of Numaligarh Refinery Limited, NRL, Mr. Bhaskar Phukan. Mr. Phukan is looking after the technical part of this organization. Sir, welcome to our Northeast Diary.
Thank you. Good evening.
How things are going on right now since we are in an unlock period?
I think we have managed things pretty well. We could manage our refinery operation and also the projects were on the track during the lockdown period, and coming into unlock. We are now in full swing as far as refinery is concerned, and almost we are up to around 90 to 95% throughput level. Sales are looking up. Secondly, the projects like refinery expansion projects and the pipeline projects, Indo-Bangla Friendship Pipeline project and the biorefinery project. These are the four major projects that we are undertaking. All of them are progressing very well post unlock. So that way we are doing pretty well. Actually, we could get out of that lockdown period, which was an extremely challenging period for us, both in terms of maintaining the production level, as our people were also getting impacted by COVID. At one point of time, more than 150 employees out of 800 employees were infected. But with a strict protocol that we have put in place, we have been able to come out of that situation. Today, the situation is much better.
Atmanirbhar Bharat, Atmanirbhar Assam. So how far NRL is planning to contribute to achieve the goal through Atmanirbhar Bharat?
We are contributing towards giving opportunity to the local manufacturers, local contractors, even the local laborers are getting involved. As we speak today, we are employing around 1,000 employees, contract workers for our projects. As I had already touched upon. One is that biorefinery project, which is there to convert bamboo into ethanol. Ethanol will eventually go into the petrol and used in IC engines. So this is a unique project, and then it will contribute to biofuel in the region. Actually, we are employing around 700 odd people. And in the main refinery project, which is about to begin, some preparatory activities are underway. Around 400 people are working there. So that way, around 1,100 people are already working at the site on a continuous basis, and contractors are also getting mobilized. So that way, the project is in full swing. This year itself, we have a plan to procure around 350 crores of material. So our people, our Indian vendors, will have an opportunity to supply this. Next year, that amount goes up to around 6,000 crores. That way, things are looking up.
During lockdown, several people were working outside Assam. Eventually, they had to return to their states. Are you also engaging them?
NRL is heavily invested on the skill development. That has enabled us to engage maximum local people in our project. So we did a aggressive skilling activity last 4-5 years. Then we have created a pool of skilled workers like welders, fitters, wiremen, like that. We have created a very large pool of local people who are now getting benefited out of the projects that we are executing.
Since you are working for a long time in this sector, how this COVID pandemic situation might have affect the oil and natural gas sector, specifically in Assam as a whole?
Let me start from the global context.
Right.
As you have seen, there was a demand destruction to start with. There are a lot of debate going on. On the long run, actually, people will see an energy transition. Some countries, it will happen faster than in India. So one of the key areas which will transit from the fossil fuel to EVs, electrical vehicles. So there are two variants of electrical vehicle again. One is called FCEV, that is a fuel cell electric vehicle, which will primarily use hydrogen will be put into that. So fuel cell will convert this hydrogen into electricity, and that will eventually run the vehicle. These are the two major segments. That is pure EV, which will be a battery, lithium-ion battery driven EVs, and one is FCEV. Be aware of both the things. So you will be happy to know that NRL is already producing around 48,000 metric ton of hydrogen, which of course is being utilized today to produce the BS6 grade of fuel. In the future, if the demand for auto fuel drops and we were to migrate to hydrogen-based economy, then probably we are already equipped because we are already producing hydrogen. We have to only see how this hydrogen will be supplied to the people where it is required. See, this is one area. Secondly, with our new refinery, that is expansion coming, we'll produce another 70 TMT of hydrogen. So that both the hydrogen production combined actually unlocks lot of opportunities in future. Secondly, taking into consideration the energy transition into view, we have already invested in biorefinery, as I have told. So we will produce around 50,000 metric ton of bioethanol. So from bamboo as feedstock. So those will go for blending with MS. So definitely that is another way to look at it, and it will also save lot of foreign currency because lot of crude is getting imported, and you can imagine something which is domestically produced will replace the requirement to import crude to that extent.
You have already mentioned about the skill development aspect. Would you please elaborate with what are the thrust areas in skill development?
Yeah, as we are embarking on this refinery expansion project, you can imagine lot of skilled workers will be required. As you know, refinery mostly centers around the mechanical, instrumentation and electrical jobs. So those skills were not very easily available in this part of the country. So we have invested in skill development activities. Particularly, we have invested in ITIs. We have created one IT, revived or created, whatever you may say, in the Golaghat so that the local youths were trained in that, what you call welding technology and wireman. Wireman is the one who does the electrical job. We earlier had also invested in ITI of Jorhat. So that way we were invested in those skill development activities way back from maybe since last 4 or 5 years. So that way we had created a lot of pools where these people could have participated in mechanical, electrical and instrumentation jobs, which are the backbone of the refinery expansion.
And finally, what would be the new initiative from your end in coming days?
We are also heavily invested in the transition to digital kind of a refining. So you will be happy to know that NRL is one organization. We were always in the forefront of IT applications. We started as a refinery who used ERP from the very inception when we started our operation in 2000. We were the refinery who had the DCS system, that is the core of the refinery operation from day one itself. We had started with terminal automation system when we started. But those were working in silos, as you can see. But it was now that with the advent of AI, ML, all those applications can run only when we digitally captured information are put in one platform so that interplay can be utilized to build analytics, and then that analytics are used for increasing reliability. I am happy to inform you that NRL is one of the refinery who is termed as at least the Asia Pacific base on the energy use among the peers. That means there is an organization called Solomon who does benchmarking of all the refineries in the same category of refining sector with same complexity and all.
Mr. Phukan, you gave us time and you gave us valuable inputs on NRL activities. Thanks a lot to all the listeners from Golaghat. Thank you.
Thank you.